There. All right. So thanks for coming, everybody. This is a playtest of Uncanny Echo issue 1, which might end up being a monthly thing that I do on Patreon. We'll see how it goes. So don't break it. Just kidding. So I'm gonna do a sort of a bridge cats. So concept is basically each of these stories are going to be serialized little adventure starters, PBTA style, and robbing a little bit of Lady Blackbird if you see the keys on the playbooks there. With the idea of us playing short, contained, pick up and go stories that are going to defer every single month, but then we'll tie into a larger narrative that is emergent. So we'll just figure it out as we go. And thankfully, we have like a new issue every month, so lots of time to think about it. So that's the concept. Aim for this session, the goal is for us to be like playing bank robbers, except that we're also going to be as like the meta plot, we're going to be unraveling like uncanny mystery things and plotting that into there. So while your characters might not notice like uncanny things happening at the bank, the audience will be like noticing these things most likely. And when we get to the point in which you get to the vault, just as a precursor, I'll let you know that I'll be asking what each of you think is in the bank as a sort of custom move to build what might be in there and have like an uncanny thing in there based on your feedback, essentially. And tone, I'm pretty much good with pretty much anything except for the normal stuff like no sexual abuse, no violence to children or animals and stuff like that. You're robbing a bank, so I think that would be strange. But just in case, we also have the X card. So if you need to use that, you can just go like that or hit in the chat, or we could do a roll for your party thing too. And then that also lets you play the X card with like a pop-up window. And yeah, does any, oh, 2 people are gone, but does anyone else have any things that they want to draw lines with happening in this particular scenario regarding bank robbery and weird things happening? Plus, with serialism, maybe there's some stuff that might come up, right? It's pretty weird.
No veils or anything or lines, but I am kind of curious what you mean by uncanny.
So just stranger things is what I'm thinking. Like just peculiar, think X-Files. X-Files, Stranger Things, but it's pretty much player driven for what kind of tone we want to take it to. Like I suspect that one group might go full out to like Lovecraftian horror stuff that's really weird and happening in the bank, and maybe another group will take it to just like you see a clock in the bank and for every second it ticks forward, it ticks 2 back or something like that, right? Just weird, odd things that are happening. We define what is going to be. We define what is going to be uncanny. So it's up to you guys to do that. And I think even on the playbooks, there's so one of your keys is to essentially like tee up what you think is surreal about what is going on. No problem. But yeah, so in terms of the session though, I'd like it to be like a creeping ramp up, maybe, you know, like you guys plant these weird little things that maybe the audience sees as we're going through it, and then the vault is the truly strange, uncanny, surreal, whatever thing that is happening. That's the only real thing that I have in mind. So yeah, we've got 4 playbooks to choose from, and we have a little bit of a procedure too for robbing the bank. So I'll just wait maybe for Ellen to come back.
Sorry, I think Caroline maybe about a minute. We're just saying niece off.
Yeah, totally fine. And Lauren, maybe you'll. It says you need a second anyway, so might be a good time. Oh, and she's gone.
Thanks for accommodating us, Fraser. With normally I wouldn't normally be like this in a proper gauntlet game, but because it popped up, I thought we'd squeeze in even with a few extra little things going on.
No
but
problem.
we're about to be 110% focused.
No problem. Yeah.
I really like this idea, the heist with the. I've noticed watching you play. Actually, you have that kind of heaps like movie, like TV way of thinking about how like seeing the games and how it works and stuff. I like. Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah, I ever since I read Apocalypse World and they mentioned like think of it like a TV show or a movie, I guess I just took that to heart.
Yeah,
just
cool.
never stopped.
I think yeah, it's cool. It does help like kind of explaining to other people how you're seeing things and stuff, and like it's fun steering the camera around and stuff. I think in fantasy games I try not to sometimes talk about like the camera and stuff. I'm always talking about like eagles flying over like I try to make it, some sort of analog camera in the world, or like I don't know, but it's fine. Like I don't. But it's kind of in more modern settings. I think it's cool using the camera and everything. Right?
Yeah. Well, every time I play with Jason, he knows it's coming. Right? Like, yeah. I think whenever we play, like we hunt the keepers and stuff. There was even one session where he was like, "Who is directing this film? Like Michael Bay?"
Yeah, I watched that.
Yeah,
I liked him calling out all of your thief characters like crazy Assassin's Creed like antics the other day. That was pretty funny.
Yeah, but it's my only touchstone, right? Everyone is like my only thief touchstones are like Assassin's Creed and Lies of Locke Lamora. It's like there's no in between, and my character just feels more Assassin's Creedy. So I was like, I'm gonna do that. You can bet that when I shoot an arrow, there will be point of view shots with that arrow. It is my staple. But yeah, I think it's a lot maybe smarter to say like eagle eye view instead of the camera. But for me, I'm just like, no, we're in a movie.
Yes, sometimes I get a bit like precious about like the anachronism with a camera even being in my fantasy world. Like I don't know, I get a bit precious about it, but I don't really, not that precious.
Yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm. So you get shaky cam Lauren for the rest of the game.
Blair Witch, cool.
Yeah.
They're out the door. I think Ellen's just about coming back in the door.
Okay, no problem.
I'm glad we went live for this. And action, and we're stopping playing.
I can edit it in the suite thing or whatever too, right? So, and I mean, cool. In the grand scheme of things, people being like, "Oh no, I have to hit the 10-minute mark on my mouse," is not like the worst in the world. First world problems.
I can hear her running up the stairs now.
Cool. No worries.
And there's her chair squeaking, and headphones on. It's funny, I sometimes get this. There she is. Cool.
No problem. So
let's do it.
Yeah. What was the last thing people heard?
I heard you saying that I guess at least might help recap for Ellen that the characters are coming into the bank and stuff, and they might not see the uncanny things going on, but the audience might. And then by the time they get to the vault, it's that's when the characters will start seeing the probably interacting with the more uncanny thing, and you were hoping for some kind of like ramp, like, you know, ramp up like in the tension with that uncanny kind of stuff.
Yeah, exactly. So pretty much everything. Sweet. So yeah, like think the way I'm envisioning it in my head is like the first part of an X-Files episode or Fringe episode where it's like normal things happening in the world, and then something really strange happens and the title happens, right? And it's like Fringe and then X-Files or whatever, and then Mulder and Scully are like, "Did you see that shit that just happened? We're gonna be doing that shit." Okay. So first things first is let's go hit up Pinterest and find the bank that we want to rob. Let's see. Oh, maybe the best way to do this is maybe for me to screen share, or everyone can just hit up Pinterest and search banks and then just look for one that's cool that you want to hit. And if you can find pictures of the inside, so much the better, so that we can visualize the things that are surmountable within that. And what's going to happen is I'm going to draw a 6-segmented clock a la Sprawl, a la Blades. And once we get the picture of the bank going, we're going to have 6 things in the segments that we need to overcome in the bank to get to the vault. And when we overcome the 6th segment, we're in the vault. So we're just abstracting that process a little bit, if I can find a pen.
I have this problem. I search banks in Pinterest. I do not get banks.
Do you get
Me
couches?
too. I just went to Google instead.
Yeah, just go Google then, maybe.
I got like 6 million couches, and they're all
Couches.
gray. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Maybe Google that.
I got something that I think is a singer, because I just have like 7, 8 different pictures at the top of a female singer.
Totally. Okay. Banks to rob. No, that's not good either. Famous banks of the world.
I was listening to Jim Butcher do a little interview, you know, that writes the Dresden Files and stuff, and he was saying he had a the police contact him after he'd published one of his books, because he described this really like in detail thing about breaking into the museum in Chicago. And the guy was worried. He's like, "How did you get all of that information?" And he'd just done it all on Google Maps, like working out what would be the best way to like get into. And the cop was just like, "Oh man, like this is so bad. Anyone can just totally break into the museum now."
Yeah. That's funny. Well, I guess even like really what we're looking for is just a cool building, and then it could be a bank too. So any cool building that is like interesting architecturally could also be a bank, I think. Because I don't know if it's like that where you guys are from, but banks here often do that. They'll buy like old properties and then like move into them, and you go in, and usually it's like renovated or whatever, but it'll be really old, weird buildings that were, I don't know, sold off or something like that. Probably the oldest buildings in the city are banks. So maybe I'll just search cool buildings.
Has anyone got a cool one yet?
I put a link in the chat. Ignore the first one, just look at the second one.
Okay. The second one is like it's like it reminds me of the bank in that Christmas movie that's black and white. It's a Wonderful Life. Maybe?
Sure. Could be that.
Yeah.
I mean, there is a bank in that movie, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, because he works at one, right? And he's like, just
It's
search
a
cool
really
buildings.
cool. There is a really cool one from my hometown, but it was a bank that was reappropriated into a shopping mall. So I don't know if it counts anymore, but it looks really cool.
in our fiction, it could be one.
See, I searched cool buildings, and now I got things like a fish building and a building that is like curved and twisted, and a donut building. I'm like, I'm not sure any of these are actually going to be banks.
Yeah, I found an article called "The World's Most Beautiful Bank Buildings," and they're all like hideously ugly, like brutal architecture that I hate. Like, so beautiful.
Pick the one that you hate the most, and we'll rob it.
Good idea.
Get some catharsis out of it. Your building might be cool, but it's easy to steal from it. Oh yeah, there's some really whack buildings out there. Whoa. And it seems like they might fall over at one point.
Oh man.
Also, for tone, now that everyone's here, why don't we talk about what kind of tone people want to have for the uncanny part of it? Like how surrealist, strange to like horror-ish is everybody wanting to go? Like what movie are we in?
I'm not that keen on like absolute gore. But I do like all kinds of like weird and surreal. Like I'm a Doctor Who fan, so I don't know how familiar you are with that. So yeah, mysterious and with the race options you put on the document, it got me thinking about like Indigenous spiritualism and how that might come in as portents.
Come in as what?
Portents. So might foreshadow something mysterious or spooky or
for sure
real things.
Are you thinking the bank built on the sacred site sort of thing? That's what it's making me think of. Like they've totally built the bank on the like a really important place that they should never have built it, sort of thing.
Seems like a bank thing to do, really.
Totally.
Yeah. Good old colonialism.
Well, I mean, it wasn't the bank's fault. It was when the colonials came in and built over the old town. They built the town hall there, and then the bank just came in and took over the town hall building because it was the coolest building.
Right, and then the town hall has a new modern building.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is P.S. exactly what my city is like. It is exactly what we have. Like we have an old municipal building, which is now a bank. And now we have the new one, which is a skyscraper.
Oh, nice.
But yeah, for both of those pictures, I'm down for either of those. It's a pretty cool building, actually, with like the bubblehead one or whatever. I don't know how to describe it.
Yeah, I don't totally hate that one. Sorry, Lara.
Could I be? Oh, sorry. No, could I be a huge pain and ask someone to do me a huge favor and flick the images we're using into Slack or something? Because I don't have the chat on my mobile.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, sure.
I have the Slack open already, so there you go. And
awesome, thank you.
And this one.
Oh, cool.
That's the two that I see there, and Ellen's got this one. All right, so there's three.
Nice.
Actually, what we could do is, Lauren, if you want to put the one that you want, we could just roll a d4 and just choose one.
Sure, I'll put this one. This one looks like the others pretty much anyway.
I kind of like the idea of like the this cool old looking one being like smaller and like inside the like foyer on the ground floor of like the the big bubble one. Like they had to preserve it for like heritage reasons, so they just like built a massive like modern building around the top of the whole old building.
People are such assholes.
Yeah, that's what happens in our city. Like we have some heritage buildings, and they're just like they put new facades on them. It's bizarre.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, people are jerks. Nice. And this is the one Lauren has. So yeah, I guess maybe we could try to bash these things into one bank or something like that.
I'm super easy. We could roll a dice. That's always fun.
Sure. Because yeah, like the two, we have 2 interior shots and then we have like 2 exterior shots, right? Yeah.
Yeah, we could use one of each, basically.
Okay. Let's roll for your party. Preferably sure glider. Here's the room. And the lowest die is a D4 there. Oh, they have clocks here too. Wow, that's good. That's good for me. I can make a 6-segment clock apparently on this thing. I'm excited.
Yeah, Shane's been updating it. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah. Okay, so should we just roll a D4? Let's see. We got number 1. What's the first one? The Allens, right?
The bubble fancy building.
Bubble fancy building?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I like the idea of that one, and then with the heaps, chandelier kind of like old school interior. It's a cool idea.
Cool. Okay, sweet. Okay, so we'll do that. And are you cool with that, Lauren? Yeah. Shaky Kev, Lauren is approved. Cool.
I can't wait to rob the shit out of it.
Yeah, me too. Okay, 6-segment clock. How do I do this? Enter title. Cool. It totally works. I love this already. And then what do I do? Oh shit. I marked a segment already. Okay, so I know how to mark a segment. You just click on it. I'm gonna delete it and make a new one here. Good job. Okay, so what do you guys need to do to get through to the bank vault? There's gonna be, I'll just make a sheet. So think of it as like an Ocean's 11 thing, like where you guys are like going through the different things, being like, oh yeah, there's this security patrol, there's these security monitors. If you're thinking like the town is really good at showing that procedure that they execute when they go in. Like someone's on crowd control, someone is going right to the backup of the video and like actually taking out the hard drives and like busting them and stuff like that, all that kind of thing. And it's also a way for me to know kind of like what obstacles are interesting to you to surmount instead of just random stuff.
I wouldn't mind the like slightly a couple of blocks across town distraction thing, maybe, to get the like initial response away from the building that we're actually in. Like,
okay, so step 1 distraction.
Yeah.
They're
on the sirens.
Yeah, they're coming.
Yeah, sorry. I have so many ideas. Like last month, I did an escape room that was like literally an art heist where we had to like stake out the place and everything and steal a painting. So
Really? Wow. Okay. Well, that sounds cool.
Yeah, it was super fun. It was really cool. I got caught so many times because I'm really bad at sneaking into places, apparently. Yeah.
You failed at the art heist.
But I was really bad. But I like the idea of I don't know if this is appropriate, but like staking out the place and maybe like leaving stuff in there for us to use like when we actually do the heist and that kind of thing.
Okay, so step one,
doing that kind
plan the stuff. Okay.
I think maybe we'll have some sort of techo scene where someone hacks the mainframe and gets passwords and security codes.
Okay.
And also maybe we can come up with some cool looping of the videos so we can trick the people monitoring.
Okay, so step, well, it doesn't have to be a step, but one of the segments will be like manipulating electronic systems.
Are we imagining we're doing this when there's the bank would normally be closed down?
Yeah, what do you guys think? What time of day are you hitting it?
In the middle of the day would be heaps more fun.
Right.
Nighttime could be spookier for the whole like when the scariness starts happening too, though.
Yeah, well,
we could also. Sorry. I was just. You go first.
Go ahead. No, you go ahead. I was just gonna. I was interrupting you to tell you to go ahead.
Okay. We could have someone hide out, like we stake it out during the day, and someone like locks themselves in the supplies cupboard to like then unlock some of the security from inside at night.
Like inside in an inside man kind of thing.
Cool. So if we're doing it at night, I think there should totally be a banker who stayed late to do work that we have to deal with.
Yeah. Maybe like security patrol or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Or even on top of security, like just some guy who's like some random guy who shouldn't be there, but has like access, but maybe is also likely to panic and freak out and just do stupid things.
Can he be like a couple of days away from retirement?
Oh, poor Stan Lee. All right, Baker who stayed late. In brackets. A couple days away from
But I mean, also along those lines, I think security guards or other things. I'm not sure. We have like electronic. Talked about like disabling like electronic like surveillance, but also just like on the boot surveillance. There's going to be patrols or a guard or somebody there as well. That might be an interesting obstacle.
Yeah, I like the classic, fat guys with donuts in the camera. Camera room, whether they're on site or interacting with what we're doing. Like, they're always fun characters when they try to chase you, and they're like.
I also like the alternate stereotype where it's basically two guys who are just total dude bros, jocks, and all they're doing is like sit-ups and push-ups and pull-ups constantly while watching the thing, but they're like distracted in their own conversation about like they're challenging each other and just not paying attention to the cameras.
Maybe the dude bros can be like on the ground, like donut guys watching the videos, and dude bros on the ground like trolling, and like they're meant to like go around the corner of this hallway at this particular time, but they're too busy doing crunches, so it could like push our schedule out.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah, they just have like that what's it called, that app where it makes you do more push-ups every day, and they just have to beat it.
I don't know anything about that.
I love this because it sort of leaves a lot of leeway for spooky shit happening with the cameras and stuff. Like, maybe it's not us who's caught on camera. Maybe it's something else kind of thing going on.
Like The Ring or The Grudge. Like
like a spooky little girl on the following us along on the camera, but like you see us go past, and then there's a little girl walking past behind. Ugh, creepy little kid.
I can't wait to do that.
I wonder if it might work well then if I say every thing that you need to surmount over the 6 ones, because you guys are coming up with a lot of stuff, is I give you a +1 that for each one that you do that anyone can use as sort of preparedness for the job that you can just cash in on or something. Because we're already at we already are at 5 of them. So what I have right now here, I'll tell you, is the I think I made a spelling error. I don't even know what that means. I wrote planet the stuff. Probably plan and stuff, I'm guessing. And that's just not one. Okay, so I have a distraction. I have manipulating systems, a banker who stays late, patrolling, security, or dude bros, probably the same people. Right? And I have inside man. We've got 3, 5 already. So we could do like, because 6 should be the vault usually. But you guys have a lot of ideas. So
I feel like I'm gonna have like that. We're gonna crack into the vault, kind of like climactic scene, right? However we end up hacking into it or getting into it somehow.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say the classic thing is that there's some security system that wasn't on any of the plans or planning at the vault that we didn't know about.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, that's why the last segment is always a vault. So there's some sort of thing to do with getting in the vault, so it's not like anticlimactic, really.
So, can I swap my distraction thing out and put the classic somebody has to get through the awesome lasers scene?
Oh, sure.
Yeah,
just because that seems cooler, you know, with the can and the cartwheels and stuff.
So in the art heist that I did, they hid an air freshener can in the bathroom, and I went to the bathroom before we started and picked up the air freshener can, and we used that to like spray on the lasers. It was really fun.
Which is Ocean's 11 Prime, yeah.
Yeah.
I like how they spray it to see the lasers or whatever, especially in Entrapment when they do that. But then in Ocean's 11, it's just the French guy who just does his little cartwheels, and I don't know if anyone's seen it, but he just basically does a dance and gets through the lasers. It was funny. So we've got inside man, laser defenses, manipulating electronic systems, banker who stays late, and security guards, and then a vault. Is that good for people? Or I muted myself. Or is that that's all good? No more?
That sounds good.
Sounds good.
I mean, we can add. Do we need to add more? It sounded like we were trying to hit that number.
Yeah, I think a 6-1 for the amount of time that I want these sessions to hit seems good. Especially since if you guys mess up, there'll be natural complications coming up from them anyway, right?
Cool.
So let's see. Next step. We've got, so I'm going to also make another clock, which is called the heat. And basically, if you guys roll misses or if it's appropriate for what is happening in the fiction, then the heat goes up. When the heat reaches the last segment, they're on you, and then you'll have to deal with that as well. So it's essentially an abstract version of time, and that's about it. All right. As if, like, I name it the heat, but if it doesn't make sense in the fiction that they even know you're there yet, it just means that something's been triggered or silent alarm, or for whatever reason time has come to, you know, the last portion there. And yeah, so when you fill in the last segment, bypassing the vault, you trigger the get the goods move, which is going to be me asking you each what you think is in the vault. And then essentially from that, we'll be making what is in the vault based on player input, essentially, to see like what kind of story we're playing and whatnot. And then in later issues, we might come back to these characters. We might not. It might just cut to like a whole new scene of the movie, and these were just the opening guys that were the fodder of story. Okay. So let's see. For establishing questions, if we choose to have a short establishing shot of the city, what about it? Does the audience see that makes it feel like this is a living, breathing entity in its own right? I'm just going to say all of the questions, and then whoever wants to answer them or answer it during play, you can just have it in mind. When you have a flashback during the bank robbery, hitting a key. So the way this game works for advancement is it's Lady Blackbird style. Each of you guys have 3 or 4 keys, and when you hit that key, you narrate what you were doing to hit that key, and then you can take another move, and you just proceed like that. And how does the audience watching this know this is a flashback? Is it monotone? Does the color palette shift? Are there auditory cues, etc.? Just be thinking about that. What time of the we already hit that. What time of the day we're hitting the bank? What inside the bank does the audience see and the players do not? That is mundane at first, but is actually bizarre upon further scrutiny. There are stories of peculiar things happening in the vault of this bank. What have you heard? And there's something strange about the employees of this bank. What is it? Does anyone have any answers to those questions?
Everyone's being polite.
Well, it seems like in terms of peculiar things happening in the vault, it might be related to if the bank was built on top of a burial ground. It could be.
Yeah.
There is some urban legends about that in some.
I like the idea of just the maybe hearing I don't know where in the world this story is happening, but hearing like some like whatever the indigenous people of this area were like hearing words or songs like every now and again from the
so like
hints of.
So we get like an establishing shot in the movie of like that nondescript banker person before you guys are about to roll up on the bank. The person working late like walks by the vault, and we just hear like music and songs or something, and they stop for a moment and it's gone, and then they start walking and it starts again or something like that.
Yeah, maybe we even see them go into like a break room or something and mention it, like it's a, like they mention, oh, I heard,
No.
weird,
That's just
weird
the club
sounds
down the block. Like they're doing their sound checks. That's what you heard.
Yeah.
That was Chad, one of the dude bros.
Chad, turn your music down.
Yeah.
Oh, Chad. I'd like for like when it's really early in the morning, like dawn, the security check that happens before the workers start filing in, to hear children laughing and playing and like thinking that they're seeing things in the corner of their eye, and just like, oh, okay. Maybe those were the kids out on the street.
Dun, dun, dun. Sounds good.
I've got some other things. Like, what if like in every picture that goes into the into the bank has some other like small, the same person or like some figure in the background that is just seems to show up in every picture. Maybe it didn't have it when it first showed up to the bank, but since it's been staying there, there's now this like mysterious figure that's in all the background of all of the pictures.
Hey, Yoshi, this is why we play during the day with you.
Maybe. Oh, sorry, Lauren.
No, I love that. Like, I totally see too. Like, if say we're serious, like that figure in one shot being like a few meters behind a guard or whatever, and then like in the next shot they're closer, and then in the next one they're like behind them, kind of thing. Like SCP containment breach, kind of weeping angels.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, cool.
And maybe that figure is like a chief or like the wise man of the local village or tribe. So like I'm imagining someone that's tall and like very like somber looking and traditional clothes or maybe traditionally nude. However, there's people.
Can we make it be an old woman?
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool. I'm into it. Okay, cool.
In terms of like the city living and breathing, I'm imagining a opening shot of like the city from the sky, and those time lapse images of like traffic moving and lights changing and the movement of people timed like breath. So like it's breathing in and breathing out and people coming in and out of buildings and that. So it really feels like there's some sort of natural rhythm to this place. And there could even be shots of this place over time from early days with people moving in and out of the local area.
Awesome. To build on the like the indigenous culture that we have going there, can we have like the soundtrack that you hear as you're watching this start off as sort of like an indigenous like song and chanting with like just all like natural instruments and things like that, but like then as it gets more modern, like other like a drum machine and other things gets beats up and it ends on like a club that's like 3 doors down from the bank, and so it's totally a DJ playing something that has something they've sampled and mixed in, and that's the music that we end up hearing.
Oh, that's very good. I like that.
I'm terrified because you literally read my mind.
Very nice. Cool. Yeah, I really like that too, because if you're thinking about it as a TV show or a movie, then each of these establishing shots really gives the audience like an idea of what's going on here, right? With the city's time exposure, the music, and then this like bank employee with the weird stuff happening. So yeah, very cool. From here, let's go to you guys picking playbooks. And actually, so there's 4 playbooks. There's the architect, the lookout, the techie, and
the trigger.
The trigger, yeah. And each one has ingrained stats and ingrained moves, but you'll probably mostly be using the basic moves to get the stuff that you want done. And then your moves that you hit on with keys usually help you do that thing. Although for the lookout and for one other, there is like a very specific move that you have that only you can do. But for the most part,
I just love all of them. I just want to play all of them.
Does anyone not want to play a specific thing?
No. Hey, I got a question for you. Did you mean for the stats to not be the same between playbooks?
Like yeah, they're all supposed to be different. Yeah.
I meant the sum.
The sum of them. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. There's some that the concept balances out with additional or lower stuff. Like if you typically, I think it was that if you have a specific move that only you can do, then your stat might be lower, whereas other people are generically better at something else.
Cool.
I have one playbook that's calling out to me. It's just because I love like the lookout trope of like, hey guys, I'm gonna stay out of like like this Shaggy who's like, I'm gonna stay out of trouble, and then inevitably trouble finds them and stuff.
Yeah, you're just gonna go get some Scooby snacks. You just need a sandwich.
How you roll? Cool.
I could play any of the other three. I guess I would probably lean slightly more towards the trigger or the techie than the architect, but only slightly.
I was leaning more towards the architect.
Do it. All right, Lou, what do you want? Trigger or techie?
I'll take the techie one because it seemed like you were leaning towards the trigger a bit more.
Sure. Let's do it.
Yeah. Sounds good. And also, I have a question for you guys. Are you guys a crew? Like, did one person hire, excuse me, all of you? Or did you each get like a weird sort of, like you each were procured specifically for this job separately and you don't know each other, or you know of each other within the circles, but you're not a specific crew, etc.?
I'd like to think that we don't know each other. I'd like to think that we each received like a super highly coded email or even snail mail, like to consign us.
Sure. Yeah, that works too, because the flashback, the first thing on everyone's thing to get a move is to hit a flashback explaining like their motivation for robbing it, as well as what was surreal about obtaining it. So the idea that each of you guys don't know each other but got in some strange way this job is also really, it works perfectly fine as well.
Do we know each other by reputation? Like, I kind of feel like, what is it? I can't think of the movie. Maybe it is Ocean's 11, where they talk about like doing certain jobs. Like, oh, you were that job? Like,
Yeah.
like I heard about that. Like, I didn't know that was you.
Yeah, where they're like they mentioned like the date and the building or whatever, and people are like, oh, 82 in Florence, right?
Exactly.
Sweet. Are people into that? Yeah, cool. Got
awesome.
it. Good, good. Yeah, the interesting thing for it too means that if you guys are all set up to do it specifically by, or other people will find out in your flashbacks. What could be interesting about that is maybe you're all after different things within the vault too, or the same thing, and you're all kind of like like redundancies or something to get that thing, right?
There's that great Doctor Who episode where there's the robbery of the greatest bank in the entire universe, and everyone is conscripted and told that what they're going to get from that job is the thing that they most want, and that there's something about each of those characters that is driving them to get the thing, and they're all different things. That's the fun thing.
Sounds like they read my mind a little bit. Cool. Yeah. I just want you guys to be thinking about that, just so that when you do your scenes, it's not like, whoa, shit, I gotta come up with this right away, right? That kind of thing. So you've got, just look at your keys and be thinking of them, so that when other people are doing their scenes or whatever, then you might be thinking up what you want to do to hit on your stuff. etc. But the nice thing is too is the basic moves are going to be covering probably any most situations that you're going to get into. So don't feel too much pressure to hit all of your keys as well to unlock all of your moves. It will be fine either way.
Can you tell me what a toonie is?
Yeah, it's from so it's like a personal joke for me basically, but it's a toonie is currency here in Canada. It's a $2 little it's like a loonie except it's a toonie. So it's $2 and it's like a little coin, but also in the town, a toonie is somebody who is not part of the town that everybody is a part of. Like they're an outsider of the community. So a townie is somebody who lives in the town, and a toonie is somebody who lives outside of the town. But it's mostly just there for me, I think.
Nice, thank you.
Yeah.
I think I've got most of my stuff done.
Nice. That bodes well for the pick up and play aspect. I noticed that the lookout's the only one that doesn't say gender identity. It just says gender, so I'm gonna add that. There we go. In the future, it will be corrected. Nice. Yeah, I'm excited to see where this goes. You guys are more than I had hoped for coming up with all this cool stuff. Although Yoshi scared me a little bit with the paintings. I'll just read before bed tonight and turn all the paintings around. Maybe I don't know. Maybe I'll wonder if I should change the toonie thing, because actually the reason why it originally was toonie and townie was because there wasn't like an uncanny aspect to this. It was mostly just going to be like you rob a bank, and it was kind of just going to be like urban drama instead. But I liked the idea that the uncanny aspect of it would be the thing that is like the glue or the thing that holds all these stories together and is what brings it all together. So maybe I'll change toonie later as well, since it's not as much applicable anymore.
My character's totally wearing pants made out of stuffed animals now, though, because I just read the toonie thing as some sort of like weird like cartoon character clothes.
Oh, I thought you were going to take it into the realm of plushie.
Oh no.
Yeah, your character just has to like, you have like a thing that you have to do where it's like a superstitious thing where you gotta have Beanie Babies on you at every job.
Yeah, she's wearing the every like stuffed toy she's taken on every successful job. She's like attached to her. So.
Yeah. One day somebody's gonna ID you. The Beanie Bandit. That's the name of the paper.
I totally feel like my character would be easily ID'd, but somehow is not yet ID'd at all.
Well, police.
I don't know. So like like the look and feel for like the character is somebody who is like in their late 20s, male, but has like a vibrant blue mohawk. And so like that would be like a super identifying thing. But like they're like what they're robbing the place in is probably like shoes that light up, like, you know, those light up shoes that people like dance at. Like I'm imagining sort of like a punk like dancer who like goes to clubs, and like they're just like going from the club to like there or back to the club, and it's like they have leather pants on and then like a bulletproof vest, and you're pretty sure no other shirt, it's just the bulletproof vest on top, and then like a trench coat that goes over it. That's their concealing clothes until they get to wherever they need to go.
So are you just like partying at that DJ place and then like
I think I'm totally partying there. I'm like, I gotta go now.
Yeah. Everyone's like, oh, he's going for a smoke. Not really.
No. Yeah, I'll just show back up there later and everything will be fine. Like, I was here the whole time.
Yeah. Yeah. They're like, oh, where'd that duffel bag come from? Let's just party.
The coat check is really good.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Or the coat check person at the bar that you go to is the person who launders your money. So
yeah, they're my fence.
Yeah. Sweet. Okay, if people don't mind, if they could do Hangouts toolbox and put their character's name and pronouns as well there, that would be helpful. Oh yeah, Lauren, you can't, hey? Because you're on the mobile. I just saw her face be like, oh fuck. Well, that's fine. I'll just try to remember yours. Yeah. Or just write it in the group chat. Or you can't do that.
Oh yeah.
What is their name and pronouns? I'll just write it.
Okay. I'm trying to figure that out.
Oh well, whenever you have time, yeah. Put you on the spot.
I'm sorry.
It's fine.
For some reason, I just have in my head like this old indigenous lady. Now that we're talking about,
I am the woman in the painting.
Yeah,
you could do that, right? Oh, the name. Click on Hangouts toolbox on the left-hand side. When you mouse over it, there should be like a bunch of options that pop up. Little, like the chat window, screen share, cameraman, and then Hangouts toolbox. And then it will say display name once you click on that. And you just change it to your character's name in brackets, pronouns, and then to the top.
It's the little blue thing to the side. Do you see that, Ellen? Yeah, cool.
Yeah. And then to turn it on, it's the swiper.
And I think you've usually got to reverse it too, or it's all written backwards. It is on mine anyway.
Actually, I think to us, it's forward. To you, it's backwards. Is usually how it is.
Is mine backwards now or forwards?
No, yours is fine.
No matter what you do to the button, it doesn't change. It's just whether or not you can read it yourself.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Yeah, like for instance, look at all my book titles. You can't read them, right? But now, oh, look at all those book titles. Actually, I'll keep mine off. It always covers my mouth.
Other little bits. So like I said, Gem, I think is he, him, male presenting. I think of him as sort of like half Asian, but with like a little bit darker brown skin. So maybe half South Asian and like something else. And so he medium height, but fairly athletic. Like he definitely looks like somebody who's at the clubs trying to pick up people and also probably gets picked up on as well type thing.
So basically, no matter what happens tonight, we know what you're doing.
Yep.
Well, I guess unless you're in jail.
Hey, there's people in jail too.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. And the guards are just like, turn around.
Yeah, mine character is Catalina. She's I just picked up on the name because I knew a woman from South Korea for a long time called Catalina, so my characters are like, I guess she's probably grown up in whatever country we're playing in, but I guess she appears to as a like South Korean woman. And her real name's Myung, but I don't know if that will even come into it. And in terms of a like heist outfit, she's wearing pants made. I don't know if you've ever seen those pants that Flea from the Red Hot Chili Peppers wears. They're made out of stuffed animals. They're an entire set of pants made out of stuffed animals. She's wearing some of those, and she's got a stormtrooper helmet on.
Let me see this. I have to Google this.
I'll try to find it if you want.
Animal penis. I have an idea that these will come up soon.
Yeah.
Oh
I'll drop it in the Slack chat.
Yeah, and then on the one that I see anyway, his shirt is butthole surfer as well.
Yeah,
nice.
I'm wearing that shirt as well.
Oh, so the entire ensemble is what's happening. Okay.
But with a stormtrooper helmet.
I wonder if the person working late tonight is going to have a heart attack as well. We'll see, I guess. That's awesome. Okay. And what playbook were you again, Catalina?
She's the techie.
Right. Cool. Anyone else is ready?
My character is Elspeth, and she has a very like old colonial name, but she has indigenous heritage from the local area. She's in her early 20s, and she's very much disconnected from her heritage, and also hasn't really found her place within the town. She is like a very calm and very precise person. Yeah, and she's wears like a long, flowing, earthy, browny, orangey dress and no shoes.
Oh, shoes, cool. And so, are you saying precise in like mannerisms, or in terms of like how she speaks as well?
In everything, she seems to have perfect control of her actions and her words. So, I can imagine she's been brought into this job because she's got strong control of fine motor skills, and I'm sure, I don't think she's much of one for small talk, so she'll say what needs to be said, not necessarily blunt, but just enough.
Precise. Cool.
Yeah, precise.
Nice. Lauren?
Also, sorry, I was just like getting distracted by all these gorgeous photos. So we're just doing character stuff, right?
Yeah, just introducing
Awesome.
characters.
So I'm going with Kavya, who is a townie.
Oh, how do you spell that?
Kavya.
Okay. She, her?
She, her.
Okay.
I've gone with her demeanor as being empathetic, but then I kind of, the thing I had in mind was that she's been in this game for a long time, and she knows her shit. And she's very empathetic, but it's like, if you fuck up, then she's gonna be like, this isn't the amateur hour, like, you need to get your shit together, kind of thing. She has a nun mask, and yeah, I think that's kind of all I had in mind for her.
Cool.
She grew up in the area a long time, very in touch with her roots and stuff. Yeah.
Cool. I like it. So let's see. Let's do.
Oh, and I like to think maybe back in the day she was kind of like the face, but as she's aged and because misogyny is a thing and stuff, now she's sort of the lookout since people like always underestimate sort of old people, and so she often gets like she's really well placed for this role because yeah, everyone her and stuff. She looks very unassuming.
And people are jerks. Okay.
Yeah.
there's a big undercurrent of this in our episode here. Okay, so let us. Do you guys want to do your? I think it would be neat to have you guys moving in on the bank and doing your vignette opening scenes if you have something in mind for that. If you don't have something in mind for that, we can always just have the people that do have the vignette scene for the key ready to go move into going to the bank, and whenever you feel like it, you just hit that flashback. That's cool too. Does that sound good to people? Cool. Who wants to go first?
I can totally go first. Like maybe I'm what gets us into the building. And so like I think you see Jem as he's like walking down the street coming from the club or something like that. And then just like walking down and then takes a back alley or two. And you can see him like pull out from like somewhere that he stashed like the Guy Fawkes like anonymous mask. And that's what he puts on there to like go up the last little bit to the bank. And like I imagine that this bank has like one of those outside ATM things, and like he like pulls out a wallet that he like pulled off of somebody else and is just like flipping through it until he gets the bank card and like slides it to get into the glass area and then like into that like little like locked one. So it's not even his card. He just does it and then just like tosses the card away. He like doesn't even care about it, and then gets in, and then like you can see him maybe like take out some tools or something to like just like sort of like pick the lock for the opening door, like because you know how they have like those extra like glass doors to prevent you to get to the rest of the bank. And he's just sitting there like picking the lock a little bit while that, and then like it finally opens up to that little bit, and he just like props it open and then like maybe like waves everybody else in.
Cool. And is everybody wearing masks? What are your masks? Avia is wearing a nun mask.
Elspeth's wearing a monster mask, and the monster is like a yowie, like know, I don't know if you know what yowies are like.
Yep.
Yeah.
Cool.
Forest monster.
I was kind of picturing a little bit of an intro for Catalina that's like, and kind of hitting that thing of explaining her motivations too, that you kind of, I think the, like we fade in and there's this, we're looking at the back of like this long black hair person at a, like a keyboard, you know, with the classic like, you know, like whole circle of monitors all around and just crazy expensive looking tech and stuff. And like the camera kind of moves back from her. It's just this like super extravagant nerd cave. Like there's like all of these like amazing like nerd movie props, like full size like stormtrooper armor, just like all of the, you know, like the things of all the toys in still in their packets and stuff like that, just like, and she kind of stands up. I think she looks at her like her phone or whatever, and she walks through, and there's just room after room of like all this crazy ridiculous like nerd stuff, and she picks up like her a stormtrooper helmet off of the thing and she kind of walks out the door, maybe gets on some sort of ridiculous motorbike that's also from a movie. And like she takes off towards the So she's obviously got a nerd. She's a crazy nerd capitalist that needs to buy more nerd toys.
So is it like audience members or whatever would notice that it's like the bike that Steve McQueen drove in
totally
or whatever?
Cool. Yeah, it's totally that.
Cool.
Does she take her stormtrooper helmet from the full size armor?
Takes it off
like
of the armor.
So that's what you're wearing at the job is the stormtrooper thing.
Yeah.
So hopefully you don't have to shoot anybody, right? Cool. Does anyone else have any intro scenes for their characters?
So Elspeth is sitting in her front yard, like drinking a cup of coffee, and like it's an old crappy cottage house, like in between these like tall, like old terrace buildings, and there's kids running around on the street out the front of her house, and like an old nana like pushing her little trolley, like waving to each other, and like she's like giving the wave, and then the postman comes up on his little bike, and morning Elspeth, and they're like morning Posty, and she gets like the bills flicking out, bill after bill after bill, and then oh okay, a black envelope. She opens the black envelope, and it's just got a time and geographical coordinates, and she's like, yeah, folds that up, puts it in her pocket, and she's got to get up and go.
Yeah, I'll retcon that envelope into my scene as well. You totally saw that in my scene as well, because I guess we kind of need that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, like, so you guys both got your jobs in the peculiar manner of snail mail or whatever. Cool.
I would love to loop into that as well. And I think this hits on like the motivations for why Kavya's doing this. But I like to think that she's like at like a community hall playing bingo, and it's like super like all you can really hear is like the caller and the flutter of paper and the muttering of people is like they miss their numbers and stuff, and then like you see her mark off the numbers on the row that she needs, and then like she gets it, and it's like, oh my gosh, like I won bingo, and she goes up to collect her prize, and then all she gets is like this letter, and she's like what is this? And then opens it up, and it's like the request, like come help this heist, because she is bored as fuck and wants to do something exciting with her life again. Good, back to the old glory days.
Nice, as opposed to bingo.
Does she celebrate wildly like it was the best bingo prize ever?
Yeah, yes. Yeah, I reckon she does. I like that. It's really cute.
Sweet. Okay. So, people who did flashback scenes, pick your first move. Oh, nice. I saw the picture too. Very nice. People have been posting lots of pictures. Nice. Cool. Okay, so you guys, we'll cut back to you guys like entering the bank with your respective masks on, and then we can do everybody rolling carry out a plan, which I will put in the window here. So when you carry out a plan, when you enter a space and execute a plan you already made in the setup phase, everyone rolls plus resolute. So roll plus resolute, and then essentially with your hold, you can like immediately circumvent obstacles, decrease the heat segment if you need it, or increase one of your stats by 1 permanently. and you can hold that for the entire length of the game and spend it whenever you like.
I killed it. I got an 11.
Oh, yeah.
What happens when we totally flunk out on that roll?
Then a miss happens.
I flunked out.
Okay, I will keep that in mind.
Yeah, I failed as well, so 6 with a -1.
Okay.
Whoa. At least Yoshi's killing it.
Yeah, yeah, totally. Yeah, Yoshi, you get to hold that you can spend whatever you like. And Lauren, are you able to roll like that?
Oh, I rolled like a 4 because I'm really bad at being resolute.
You rolled and you got 2 twos?
Well, I got a 6, but then sorry, I got a 6, but then I've got a -2 in resolute, so rolling was right.
Cool. Okay, so, geez. Let's see. What are? Where's my windows? Okay,
We
so
are so going to be the plebs that never make it out alive, aren't we?
yeah, you're already dead, and we never get to the vault. No, but so I think what happens is for number one of the people that failed, I think, is going to be the inside man. Who was that?
I guess that could be Catalina, I guess, with the whole like tech thing. Like, so maybe it's some sort of like it would be pretty easy for her to get in as some sort of like IT consultant and do something on the inside that's meant to like help us out, but I guess it maybe isn't as helpful as it was meant to be.
Well, if you guys are entering now, maybe what happens is your program, I think that you were going to install or did install, isn't able to like execute its commands because of the banker who's on the system still, right? You were counting on people to leave, and that didn't happen. So
yeah, maybe I'm kind of picturing like she put in some sort of like small drive in stuff, and maybe it's just heaps unlucky, like he stumbled, he's like, what's this isn't meant to be here, and it's like he's pulled out my stick from where it's meant to like activate or something.
right. And then the other 2 misses I'm going to hold for later. So as you guys enter, yeah, so at any time shit could go have. But anyway, you do what you do. It's fine. It'll all work out. So you guys enter probably the main entry. It sounds like if you're coming in through the ATM side, or are people coming from multiple sides? Are you guys all converging on the same entrance, or is it like a 3-pronged attack or whatever?
I kind of like the whole movie shot of us all just like Gems like open the thing, and I kind of like us all coming in with our like in a line with our masks on just because it looks cool, like the whole the whole heist movie thing where like it pauses on and it's like on some font or something,
Right.
like in and we've all got our cool masks and stuff.
Cool. So you enter like what is probably like the main lobby or whatever, and there's a side security room, I think, where the 2 essentially Chads are. And what was your program supposed to do that it failed to execute, you think?
I guess
Turn off the feed, maybe?
yeah, maybe could it be something to do with the loop? It was meant to set up the loop like camera.
Oh, Okay, cool. So
does that work or?
oh, totally. Yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
their screen, like we cut to the two Chads or whatever who are dude broing it up and like hitting each other, and like it escalates to more and more hitting each other, right? Like one innocuously hits one, and then the other guy's like hits him harder, and then it keeps going harder and harder. It's like Dumb and Dumber in there, right? But I think you have some sort of portable device, Catalina, and you notice that it's not looped, right? So what
Mm.
do? You guys are in the lobby. You see that the footage is not looped. You can see yourselves in the lobby.
Yeah,
Right.
I think she's got like it's probably just her phone, and it's got she can tap into what the feed is that they should be
Yeah.
seeing. And I think maybe we even see like she's watching it, they're not on the feed, and then it's kind of maybe the split screen thing. We see that the like guy working late going like, oh, this isn't supposed to be here. Like, or like, look, oh, hey, someone left their drive at work or something, and he pulls it out, and then we're suddenly like like in the middle of the foyer, like on the screens, and she's just like probably says some choice like Korean swear words that her grandmother taught her or something.
Well,
I don't know any, but
well, I can't pronounce this, but there is a Korean swear word that is the size of your character is directly proportionate to the size of your penis. So you could say that.
Yeah, she uses that choice phrase. And I think she's just like shows that you see her turn the phone around so that others can all just see themselves on the camera standing in the like foyer of the bank.
We're supposed to take care of that.
I'd like Elspeth would like to make her way into the roof cavity, and so she's going into the bathrooms and like gets on top of the stall and pushes away a roof panel, climbs into the roof because we've mapped out this bank. She knows where the security room is. She crawls over to the security room, moves aside a panel, and drops down behind Bob and Rob that are eating donuts in front of the screen. I don't know whether or not they've noticed that something's up. Maybe they're talking about a game of football, or they're like, oh, you got the double glazed one. Oh, it's really good. And she just very quietly pulls out her handgun and whips him on the back of the head with a sleeper knock.
Okay, it sounds like you're getting it done. So why don't you roll that for me, which is roll plus steady.
Okay.
And I'll copy and paste that as well.
Steady, that's all right. I don't need any steady. Steady's for losers.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, so apparently, yeah, I didn't do so good. I got
5. Things are going very well. Okay, so I think
you young things are terrible at this.
Yeah, apparently. So I think what happens is let's see. Jem it lets out the words, right? You were supposed to take care of this. And then the next words out of Jem's mouth is, wait, where's Elbit? Right? Because she's gone. And I think you're able to, like, we get a jump cut back to the security room with the dude bros. And I think why you're able to hit one of them on the back of the head, so Chad number 1 is down or whatever. And the reason why you're able to do that is because they start paying attention to the feed, right? And they're like, oh shit, like we better do something. And then Chad is like, oh, as you knock him out. But then the other one grabs your wrist and starts wrestling with you, and you guys hear a scuffle out there. What do you do?
I totally go to run over and like slam in the door because it's probably locked from the outside,
Oh,
just
probably.
because or locked from the inside, so you can't like get into it. And it's probably just like I run over to it and probably am just like kicking at the handle to like break the lock, like that type of thing to get into there.
Yeah. Well, I think it won't be a problem to break down the door.
Yeah.
So the door crumples forward or whatever, and you see them tussling, and it's one of those moments in the movie where like you can't get a clean shot, right? Because you're like, oh shit, I could hit one or the other. What should I do?
Yeah. So if I can't get a clean shot, like I'm totally like just running in there and like gonna do like wrestling style, like just try to like grapple somebody and like pull them off to get like uh anybody else, like just to get a little bit of separation and to make sure that 2-on-1 it's gonna be worse for the other guy.
Mm. Okay, sounds like you're getting it done, and maybe Elsbeth, you are intervening with some help if needed, maybe?
Sure.
I think also while this is happening, like
Mhm.
we see Catalina like she's like sprinting over to just any like one of the computers like that are in the foyer, and she's jamming a drive into it, and she's trying to, and like I'll come back, I'll use my like tech move like
Okay,
after this happened, but that's kind of happening off to the side.
cool. And then what is Cavia doing too while this is happening?
Um, well, I hate framing stuff in terms of moves, but like I was hoping to sort of, like take stock of how to overcome the one of the obstacles that's going on right now. Maybe the tick one, to see if
Sure.
there's like a way we can. Yeah.
Here, I'll name the obstacle. So there's the inside man problem. Didn't work. So we're still surmounting that. the the inside man has sort of become synonymous with the patrolling security that are dude bros. There's laser defenses still. There's still manipulating electronic systems, which seems like that's being worked on, and the banker who stayed late as well.
Ooh. Yeah, let's take stock on some lasers.
Okay, so you're just gonna trust that they've got their stuff going on. The nun
Yeah, I
walks
mean
forward to look at the
yeah,
lasers.
they're all pretty incompetent, but you know what? They were hired for a reason, I guess.
Sounds good. Okay, so everybody roll up your respective things that you need done, and then we'll execute each thing.
So I got a 2 and a 6 with +0, which would be an 8. But
Cool.
Elspeth's helping me, so she'll give me a die, right?
Yeah, so roll plus steady, Elsbeth, and then whatever your highest die is, you can give to Yoshi to see if we bump that up. So just hopefully more than a 2.
Yeah, my highest die is a 6.
Well, there you go, boxcars. So why don't you guys work together in concert to tell me how you get rid of Chad number 2?
So I kind of like the idea of like maybe I like grab Chad number 2 and like eventually I get him into like a headlock or an armbar or something where he's like exposed, and then you maybe deliver the knockout punch or something to him.
Yeah, I pick my gun up off the ground, which was clearly knocked out, and I like give him a good knock on the back of the head, and I pull my cable ties out my pockets and tie up his hands, and also tie up the hands and feet of Chad number 1 as well.
Cool. And that's we'll say that's segment number 1 down.
So I had a roll of my my tech move while that was going on. So I got an 11, which is like deal pretty much like do technology to do what you want, and then I tell you what it is. And so I I think I was just trying to fix up the whole feed problem in case there's like, you know, off-site security or something as well. So I think she does it, and you see the feed click back over, and I think she like Catalina walks into the room and she's like, "What the fuck? I had it. I didn't say I couldn't fix it. What are you idiots doing?" There's like smashed chairs and knocked out. Dude, I'm like, it's fixed. It like took like, you know, like a few minutes to fix it.
Sure. Okay, so sorry, what was the result of your die roll, Catalina?
I got an 11. I'm rolling physical dice. That's why they're not popping up in the thing.
Yeah,
I hope that's okay.
Oh, totally, yeah. Okay, so we have 2 segments down. I like this clock thing. It's working very well. Okay, so I think the 3 of you guys in that room then turn, and that's when you see that there's the person still working late, and then we get a jump cut to the lasers. So how are you going to do with it? You're taking stock, right?
Yeah, I was taking stock. And like so I did that partially because I took the move like when you take stock you get an extra dice and then take the highest. And then I rolled 2 2s and a 3. But
wow.
but I have a +2 to savvy, so that squeaks in at a 7.
Holy crap. Okay, guys. Okay, let's see this move here. To accept the information is vague or incomplete. Okay, so I think what happens... Oh, I like this idea. So you're taking stock of these lasers and whatnot, but you've been out of the game for a while, right? So you know the technology, and I think a bank would be so pompous as to even like you move a potted plant or something like that, and there's like a sticker and it says like the laser 9000 or whatever, and the last time you pulled a job it was like laser 6000, right? So you're not sure how this differs until the lasers actually change their position. Like it's not just a static grid, it starts rotating to different angles. But the weakness of that is I think that all the plants, they're so stupid, they put glass planters in there, right? So you could probably manipulate the planters to bounce the lasers off of the planters in order to, you know, get some sort of static situation where you could move through or whatever.
I think she radios across to everyone. Like, well, everyone else is having their own crisis, so like they hear across the radio, it's like, we're gonna need a lot of shiny things.
Yeah. Well, and also I think you guys will know as well that the banker who is working late is still like working and everything. But I think close to them or nearby, there's a video feed. So we get a shot of like them working away at the desk or whatever. And then right behind them, there's like the video feed of you guys doing your shit. Okay. With the yeah, shit could drop at any moment, essentially.
Hey,
so what does...
Can we also get a little? Can you give us, Fraser, a little bit of the audience seeing for the first time some spooky thing? I'd like to see. Can we have some of that yet? I want to see that.
Well, yeah, sure. Well, ooh, I know. So I think
you on the spot.
that's okay. Well, and I want you guys to know too that when you're doing your scenes, you're free to add these things in as well with texture. But I think I would like it that we sort of right before we go to like a commercial or whatever in the show, right? It goes to it pans across from that banker working to the image of a painting where the Aboriginal person is in the foreground, and then it cuts back to the banker and cuts back to the painting and they're gone. But then on the feed now there's like a static image of like the same outline of something there.
Yes.
Cool.
Yeah.
I think maybe
and then the lights go out, right?
The lights go out?
No,
Sure.
we're kidding.
So So maybe the lights go out, but then they come back, like it flickers and then it comes back. But the screen that we see now is, instead of it being in full color, it's in like a sepia tone, because what you see there is the banker there sitting at his desk just like he was before. But across from him is, you see Jem, like total like blue mohawk and everything. And then like he's like, you hear a conversation and it kind of zooms forward a little bit to get out of like the security camera view into like in the room view of like them talking back and forth, and the audio picks up, and it's them basically so like, I need to open this club, and you're telling me that my job as an independent video game designer doesn't make enough money to do this. I need $500,000 down. Like I don't have $500,000. And so like, and then like it cuts back from that and like fades back to like the normal security camera as it comes back up.
Very nice. I like the transitions. Cool. So I think let's deal with Caveat again. So we get like all these images, and then for dramatic irony, we cut to the character who has no idea this shit is going on. What do you do about the lasers?
I feel like Kavya is pretty confident and eyes up this new chick and is like, I got this. So I feel like she'd I don't know, are we trying to disarm or just like get through? I'm just wondering, like, what's
You said something about a song? What?
Oh no, I'm just wondering, like, is our goal to disarm the lasers, or is it just to like get
whatever you guys want. Like, if you can circumvent an obstacle however you like. However, I will say, like if you're gonna do the dance across the things, then everybody else is gonna have to circumvent the obstacle still, right? I won't say that it's circumvented for good if you're the only one that gets across.
Maybe it's like at the other end of the lasers is like the
kill
lasers button.
Yeah, a big red button that says laser kill switch on the.
Yeah. Yeah, the baker has to make sure to hit that when they're on their way out.
Every day going in and out of work, you gotta dance through the lasers to activate the system.
See,
but I do like the visual of dancing through the lasers.
Cool. Sounds like you're getting it done.
It sounds like it. I gotta roll steady. Okay. Cool.
You can do it. It's better.
This is totally going to have that music again, I reckon. The cool like drum and bass like indigenous fusion music while you're dancing through the thing.
I rolled a 3.
Wow, you guys. Okay, so I think the banker looks behind them while you're doing this elaborate dance through the lasers, and they're like, well, fuck. And I think they trigger an alarm, which makes it the first one on the heat is going up. And I have one more miss to do, so I think that kill switch is going to move it up twice, and then we'll be caught up for misses, because it's a pretty big mess up, I think.
Whose plan was this? This is a shitty bank robbery.
But I will say that you're through the lasers and you hit the button and you're none the wiser. However, we cut back to that room and you guys literally watch the baker go over to, like, under the till or whatever and hit the button or whatever. The lasers are off though. What do you do?
Well,
we still have the vault, the banker, and manipulating electronic systems.
I think there's a justification for us maybe knowing that he has hit it, because I do have like feeds in my thing too. So if we wanted to play it that way, we could. Or maybe I realize I watch back over the feed soon, and I can, if we wanted to have the tension of us knowing that that's happening, I don't know. It's up to you guys.
Oh, no, I think you guys all see the feed of the banker, right? Because I said when we cut back,
cool.
Yeah, everyone
okay.
knows the banker triggered the alarm now.
Okay, sweet.
And I believe some people have moves that can roll back heat with tech stuff if they need to. So what is everybody doing? I'll pull the table. What is Elsbeth doing?
Elspeth is probably because this is happening quite simultaneously. I think she's still fixing up the cable ties on the security, and I think as she's doing that, she starts to hear that ancient song and the ancient drum beat. And I think she just stops and is listening and freaking out, and then sees the flashing lights of the silent alarm going off because she's in the security room. I think there's warning signs in there. And so she just gets pulled out of freaking out a little bit about what is this? What am I hearing? And then she quickly finishes tightening up the cable ties and runs out into the main foyer of the bank, and is I think she's thinking, oh, should I get back up in the roof? Will that help? I think she's just kind of trying to see what everyone else is doing.
Okay, so you're taking stock of an obstacle?
Yes.
Cool. And Yoshi, let's see, so guards, lasers, inside man, still remaining vault bank. Yeah, that's what I have as well. Inside man was just, I think it is complete in the sense that it failed and then we kept going.
Okay, cool. That's fine. I was just trying to figure out the clock versus the things that we were talking about.
Oh, because I didn't move it forward.
Right. Because I would count the clock at 3 then, opposed to 2.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I just didn't move it forward. That's all. That's all me.
So I think what I'm doing is I am totally pulling my Uzi out. If I've got if we're in the same place where the guard can or the banker can see us, I'm totally pulling the Uzi out and holding it and training it down on him, because if we're in the same space, it's no, you're in trouble now. You've caught, we both know you're here, each other are here. Yeah. You're now our hostage type thing. So I'm just at least putting him at gunpoint so he doesn't do anything.
Okay. It sounds like you're putting the screws to him.
Sure.
Ultimatum.
Yeah. I will totally do that.
That is resolute. I think is good for you,
which is really resolute is good for me.
Yeah, and alternatively, you still have 2 hold to spend as well, so you could just circumvent it as well that way. Up to you.
Cool. I'll roll for this because it's resolute. I'm good at that.
Cool.
I'm glad I'm good at that because the +2 bumps me up to an 8.
Cool. Is anybody helping? Sort of.
Yeah. I think I'd like to come in. Oh no, sorry, I already said my move tonight.
Well, you're taking stock of an obstacle, yeah. So maybe somebody else, just so they can do something. And Kavya, you're probably the first one out too, so it might make sense that you're helping. I could totally picture you being behind the guy already or something, right? And you guys both have guns pointed at him or something like that, right?
Yeah, totes. Which also aligns with our Uncanny fiction pretty well, right?
Yeah. Yeah, you're just what? Where? I thought she just got across the laser. Shut up, it's a movie, right?
So to mirror the Uncanny thing is maybe because these are buildings with giant mirrors along the walls, so it seems bigger than it actually is. And like you see the shot in the mirror of the banker and nobody's there, but then you look back and you see the shot and you can totally see Kavya right there behind the banker with the gun pointed out.
Oh, very nice. I love it.
Yeah,
That's
maybe
awesome.
one of the
I love
other
it.
maybe one of the other reflections is that like that meeting again, like we see just like some of you sitting down at in this same space with that guy again, like another little reminder, like on each like mirror side. I kind of like that.
Or maybe
Well,
the figure where it would be Kavya is actually the old lady indigenous figure that's holding the same position against the banker.
yeah.
Very
Well,
nice.
can I flash back to a mundane event that turned uncanny because I think it loops in really well with all this.
Yes, you could.
So, I mean, I know that dancing through lasers like isn't particularly mundane, but I feel like for us it potentially is. And I think like as Kavya is like weaving through these lasers, like I feel like these mirrors are paneled or like the planches are paneled, so like you get like bits of reflection and then like nothing and then bits of reflection, and it's like as Katya moves through this corridor, it's like you get this like maybe a drum beat across every mirrored panel of like this figure like moving through it, ghosting her like a few paces behind her kind of thing, looking very determined and looking very determined as they sort of like flip past these mirrored panels.
Love it. Love the flashbacks. Cool. So you're gonna roll plus steady to help to intervene in the situation. Randy's got a gun. And you're gonna give Yoshi your highest die, which replaces his lowest one.
I got a 5.
There you go. So
with my 4, that gets me a 9 plus my +2, which gets me to an 11.
Nice. Okay, so they either do what you say or else carry out your threat. I think they backed out because they're just a banker working late, and this is an apocalypse world. You guys both know. I think he even looks at you guys and says like sorry, right? And is like apologetic and like sweating bullets because you know that he hit the switch, and yeah, he just like puts up his hands or whatever, and you guys can do what you want with him.
You should be the one that's sorry, because if they come before we get out, it's not going to be good for you. Sorry.
Nice. Very Canadian. I like it. Okay, so Elsbeth, let's get you taking stock of a different obstacle, and I'm going to move the job forward because the banker's taken care of. So manipulating electronic systems and the vault. Which one would you like to size up?
The vault.
Cool.
I'd like to suss that out. I just rolled a double 6, hey?
Oh, now you guys are succeeding after I just decided to spend it on heat. Okay, cool. Nice. I think that you guys are actually secretly really good at this game, maybe.
Yeah.
Okay, so in terms of what the vault looks like, I really like the picture that was placed there by Yoshi. Did you see that? It's a really cool looking vault. It's got like tiled flooring and this huge.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it looks like that exactly. So it's like a mixture of like there's this electronic device on the side or something that might cover that, but it seems like there might be two things that you need to circumvent with the vault. It seems like the electronic stuff is separate from the physical things that you need to deal with based on what I'm seeing in the picture.
Yeah.
So you're sizing up the bank vault, right? So roll plus take stock is savvy. Get savvied.
So I just rolled the
right.
Do you need me to roll again?
No, I don't.
Okay.
Okay,
well, I've got like 14 with the savvy, so do I get like an explosion or something amazing?
Sure. I'll give you stuff. That's awesome. What is your playbook again?
The architect.
Architect. Okay, so let's make it something cool in regards to that playbook then. I bet it's something simple like you've done your homework, and the weakness that you can exploit is the actual walls around the vault is like around the corner from it, behind it. They don't have it as reinforced as like the huge thickness or whatever in that picture. So it's an architectural thing that you have found in your plans that you can exploit. And we'll say that you already have whatever equipment you are needed to make use of that already, which will be your explosion. So just tell me what you think.
So I think I have that like the C4 kind of Play-Doh.
Yeah.
Do you know? Yeah. And yeah. So she sticks it along the wall away from the mechanical door, and like sets up the trail of ignition, and like gets actually like behind the reinforced door that is supposed to like the outer shell of the vault to ignite it. Is that?
Yeah, totally.
Can we do that now? Or is that?
Can I throw in a detail? I like the idea of when you're like needing the Play-Doh, the explosive Play-Doh, there's like some of that music coming out of the bowl, and we kind of get a little like cutaway of like maybe like people making like pottery and stuff, like playing with like clay and making like kind of shaping clay and stuff. I like that image.
And Elspeth actually has a little hammer in her pocket, and like to find the best place to put this Play-Doh, she's like tapping on the wall and listening to see the resonance, and she thinks she can hear laughing and playing.
Very nice. I like it. Cool. Well, let's have you be doing that fictionally, and we'll get you to roll circumventing it after the electronic part of it is being circumvented as well, because we still have that to get through before we can get to the vault. So manipulating the electronic systems, I think we can say it's going to be like the electronic aspect of the vault is what needs to be hacked here. We can just make it that.
Sure.
So who has something in mind for that? And also if anyone has keys that they want to hit on as well before the vault is opened, then do that.
I kind of like the idea of Catalina being too busy like sorting out the feed and messing around with stuff, and one of the characters that's less suited to like doing the tech thing having to deal with it to cover her like earlier fuck up. So she's in the background just trying to sort shit out.
Cool.
You want to do this, Kavya?
Yeah. Oh, I just a note. So I took one of us, which is I can use my radio for subdiffusion in order to stymie heat, and I kind of like that we've got the banker with us. So if you guys run into trouble, I'm gonna make this banker get us out of trouble by relaying it over the radio, I think.
Sure. Okay. Are you making the banker say the things or whatever?
Yeah. Why not? That sounds terrifying.
Who wants to play the banker then? Lou, do you want to be the banker that's all freaked out?
I want Yoshi to do the freaked out banker. Do you want to do it, Yoshi?
Sure, I'll do the freaked out banker.
Awesome.
Wait, what do you need? What do you need me to do?
I need you to take this radio And I need you to tell us exactly how to get into this vault.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm not really the person who goes into the vault normally, but sure. Like you go down there and there's the screen on the right and you have to like just hit the security code. It's alpha gamma beta 721. Got that?
At all.
That's it. That's it. That's it. There's totally no other traps.
I think she smiles and she sort of like makes a show of her gun and is like, you'd better hope for yourself and whoever else is in your life that there are no traps, for you don't want to see how nasty I can get. And she smiles very big and wide.
Okay. All right. So
Oh well, let's maybe put the screws to someone first then. Sounds
Nice.
like that's what you're doing, yeah. So roll
That's
plus
what I'm doing.
resolute.
Fuck. Oh, okay, I got an 8. That's not too bad.
Okay, sweet. So I think Yoshi already played it to tell you something or give you something they think you want to know, right? Which is I already told you what you need to do. You don't need to you don't need me, right? Like you already have the thing. It's over.
yeah, you can lock me in this office. Just lock it from the outside. I'll sleep in here. Disconnect the phone. Whatever. Like, just leave me out of it.
I thought is this someone zip tie? I saw zip ties was like in someone's inventory.
Yeah, someone has
zip ties.
Yeah.
Ah, damn.
You can just say that you like ask for some or whatever. No worries.
Yeah, I'll have a shufty around in like the bag drawers with some zip ties or other rubber bands or something. I don't know.
I totally imagine he has like extra ties, like actual like suit ties, than like in a desk or something, and you're just tying them all up with that.
Nice, I love it.
And he's probably got like a world's best dad tie and stuff that makes us feel like super guilty for tying him up.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
There's
So
a photo on his desk of like his family and stuff.
My question for you, Lauren, then is how are you going to stymie the heat if this banker is not willing to be the voice on the radio, or is somebody going to try to convince him beyond that?
I've got something that I
Maybe
could do to help. Maybe with it's like that's kind of inspired by one of the moves, the intimate details thing that I could potentially just like look up the dudes. I'm sure I'm techie enough to find out where he lives and who his family are, and just casually mention them, like something like like say something about his garden, how nice his garden looks or something.
I love that is so creepy, right? Because like it'll be Caviar relaying that information you shouldn't know to this poor dude that you've found. I love that.
Like you have an open radio on, and Kavya is getting that information through the radio.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like in your radio, Kavya's just like, oh, this is Bob, employee 3421 or whatever, and then Catalina's just like, oh, that's a nice garden, and you have a lovely wife, and etc. etc.
And a dog and whatever.
And a dog, yeah. You have a dog for sure because you're a nice person. I think you are putting the screws to someone as well then, right, Catalina? Is that your move?
Yes, unmuted, yes.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, I'll roll for that. What do I add to that? Resolute. Okay.
+1 forward, yeah.
So I rolled. Wait, you can't roll a 9 on a 6-sided dice. It's a 6 and a 3.
Yeah, so 10, right?
Yeah, with the +1, yeah.
Cool. Okay. So, and then whatchamacallit, Kavya, you need to do your move, right, for stymieing the heat? Because I think they're going to do it now. They don't want... Yoshi, what's the name of the dog that is threatened?
The dog is Sammy.
Sammy's going to die. Yeah, unless you do this, Yoshi. Okay.
So I got a 5.
Oh my God. Is Jem helping in some way?
Sure.
I just like getting us. I just like that we get a scene of like the banker at home and the dog's just like crapped all over the floor, and he like totally he hates the dog.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, I would totally be helping. I don't want the dog to die. How does Jem help this? Maybe it's like as we're putting all of the things, like tying the banker up in his office, like you see Jem like pick up the photo that he has on the desk or something, and just like kind of like look at it. And then like the camera perspective is we totally see that figure in the background again, but like looking down at the photo, I just kind of like, it's a pretty family. It's a shame that either they won't see you or you won't see them, and then I just put the frame back down on like onto the desk, and then like take it out, and then like take the picture out of the frame, and then just like tuck it into my pocket, like fold it up and like put it into my pocket, and I'm like, just remember, we've got this.
Nice. Okay. So roll.
Yeah. Rolling plus steady, right?
To
help? Well,
yes, steady.
I got a 7, and the highest die was a 4.
Cool. So what does that make the total?
Like an 8.
An 8? Okay.
Yeah.
That's funny. Okay. And what does your move say about that?
For one of us?
Yeah, one of us. What is that?
So when you use your radio for subterfuge in order to stymie heat that is about to increase roll savvy, on a hit, the MC reduces the heat clock by 1.
Cool. Oh, I don't know how to do this or that, but it'll be at 1. I don't know if I could roll back the heat. I think I could only bring it up. But anyway,
yeah.
So yeah.
I think right now Shane said he was going to add that later, but it hasn't been added yet.
Oh, okay, cool. And then let's see. We haven't seen Catalina do too much. Do you want to be the one to try to circumvent the last obstacle for the vault?
Sure. Okay.
Are you gonna size it up first, or just go for it? You're a techie, right? You don't need to check stuff out. It's fine, probably.
I think it might even be like she comes into this like the office where all this like scary, threatening families and dogs is happening, and there's like there's the original like drive that this guy pulled out of the like out of the computer that's got all of the shit on it that was meant to like, you know, deal with the cameras and all of this stuff. So I think she gets it, and like maybe even like while this extra threatening is going on, she's doing the like, you know, the like, you know, like totally unrealistic movie hacking. Actually, I just for the sake of it, I want her to ridiculously enlarge some sort of image that is like in an impossible way that you can't ever do.
Sounds
to do with the safe technology. Like there's a, I
you
don't
zoom
know,
in
like
a bunch, it's super pixelated, and then you just say enhance, and it just becomes crystal clear.
Yes, that's exactly what I do, and I think it's something to do with like backdoor codes for the safe. Like maybe there's a picture of the factory where they were making them, or they're like it's the like opening of them installing the safe, and she manages to like enlarge some images in a dumb way. And like just
Nice.
kind of is feeding these backdoor like codes that are the like the electronic portion of like opening the safe, or maybe radioing them through to Elsbeth while she's dealing with the actual thing.
Oh, like
Yeah,
as
that
the
sounds fun.
plastique is getting, or the shape charges, whatever, right, is happening. The whatever the explosion things are called, that is putting on it. Yeah, cool. So, are you doing mess with the best?
Yeah, I guess it's that. Yes, I am. Here we
Cool.
go. Let's see how best I am.
Yeah. Which PS is a throwback to the movie Hackers.
I'm not.
You're not?
Let's see. I'm at a. That's a. Yeah, I'm still at a 6.
You're at a 6. Okay. Okay.
Maybe
So
maybe someone could. I imagine possibly that Jem could help me maybe by threatening me if I fuck up again. I've already fucked up a lot.
Well,
is that a way to help?
well, I like Yoshi, if you're cool with it. I kind of like the idea of like the drive being connected and you're furiously being like, "Oh shit, this isn't working. This isn't working," and then Jem steps up and like fully connects the cable.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I'm operating at too high a level to notice that she just isn't plugged in properly.
Yeah. So roll that again. Well, Jem is helping a lot though, so that's good.
Yeah.
Intervene.
I got a 10 and a 6 is my highest. So
Oh, there you go. Okay, so you get the ideal outcome. So just
You
give
plug
me
it in
the
with your eyes closed.
yeah. Just give me the fiction. Like, how does the audience see that you've circumvented the system so that when these charges go off, it's like good. Catalina?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I think maybe it's just there's the whole ridiculous hacking montage, the zooming, and then I think maybe there's probably like some sort of little series of lights like around the awesome safe thing that are like moving downwards, and then we see like there's a bar, like a little upload bar, and it kind of freezes, and then like I start freaking out, and Jem kind of like jiggles the wires a bit, and the bar finishes loading, and the lights kind of go off on the safe, and like I think maybe yeah. Yeah,
Oh,
cool.
nice.
Yeah, like all the lights are turning off, and I think maybe yeah, like I think maybe Catalina's like takes her helmet off because all of the
Cameras are good now.
cameras are looped anyway, and she's like, oh man.
Nice.
She's like,
yeah.
she's like, oh, awesome! I'm totally gonna buy the original Millennium Falcon when this is done. This is so cool.
Nice. I like that. And so I like Yoshi's suggestion in chat too, is that part of what you've disabled is the seismic sensor. So when this like explosion goes off, right, the city isn't like, whoa,
Yeah,
something just went down. And then we'll so that is complete, and then we'll cut to the vault, and let's have Elsbeth carry out the shape charges plan.
So I'm sitting there like listening to all this shit go down on the radio, like going, okay, Jesus, are we gonna make it out of here? So I'm like, I'm all set up, I'm all ready to go. I've got the explodo plastics on the wall. I'm just waiting for the lights to go off so it doesn't trigger the alarm. And I press down on the little like ignition box like you get in every movie, and then like watch the flame trail down the line and hit the plastics. Nothing's happened, and like I look up, like stick my head around the corner, and I get a glimpse of this like tall, strong, like determined looking woman, and then
I like it. And then roll plus get it done to see how well that goes.
Yeah. that's the plan anyway.
Yeah. Well, that's fine. I'm fine with all of that happening. And then after the explosion, if there's a complication, we'll see.
7 plus 0. So I got a 7.
7. Hesitate or flinch due to unforeseen circumstances. It takes longer than you thought, or there's a cost or complication in so doing. Let's see. I think. Ooh, I think I'm just going to. I'm just going to make the heat go up a little bit more, just because everything's taking a little bit longer, and then also that gives it gives Gem something to spend hold on to if they want. Right? So all of that happens, and I kind of like that it's even maybe anticlimactic, even like with the actual vault going. The opening part of it, like there's this huge explosion, and the vault door just sort of like creaks a little bit, like it's ready to be opened or whatever, but it doesn't like fly open or anything so dramatic as that. It is just like ready to be opened because you have to like crank it first or whatever it looks like. And I think also as soon as that happens too, I like the idea of the you hit that primer or whatever it's called to blow up the stuff. We like all know nothing about this, which is hilarious. But yeah, you like do the thing, and it you hit it as soon as the lights cycle. And I think as soon as the lights are off, there's that pregnant moment as it goes into slow motion of you pushing it down, and everybody's breath comes out, and it's cold, like Sixth Sense style, right? And then the lights come back on, and then it goes like bing or whatever, ready to open the vault. Okay, so let's see. That is complete, which means we're going to move to the get the goods, which is when you mark all the segments of the job clock and enter the vault, roll plus steady. And everyone tells the MC how what they were sent to steal is mysterious, surreal, or uncanny. Maybe let's get the rolls on the table. Everyone rolls that stuff, and then maybe let's take 5-minute break so everybody can think about it. And then we'll come back, you tell me, and we'll do that scene, and then we'll end. Is that cool?
Yes, sorry, I derped out for a second. What are we doing?
Oh. So we're rolling get the goods. So everyone rolls plus steady. And then everyone's going to tell the MC how what they are sent to steal is mysterious, surreal, or uncanny. But what we're going to do is get everybody's rolls on the table. So roll plus steady now. We're going to take like a short 5-minute break. We're going to come back. You guys tell me all the stuff, and we'll make the last scene and wrap up. Okay. And out of curiosity, Jem, do you want to use your hold to drop the heat then?
Yeah, sure. I'll spend my hold to drop the heat.
Okay.
I kind of like maybe how this is like if there's sirens that are coming up, we see all the sirens, and in the movie we think they're like totally outside of the the door, but like what they end up pulling up and the shop pulls away, it's all set to like a jewelry shop like across the thing, because like before I had wired up so that all of the alarms would be sent from that building instead.
Very nice. I love it. Okay, and Jem got a 10. What did everybody else get?
5.
Of course, you guys did.
I got a 12.
12. Okay, so two good.
I rolled snake eyes.
Cool. Okay, so let's come back at 43, and you guys think about what it is that you came to steal. It can be whatever you guys want, and it can be like just think of the most interesting thing as pertaining what we've kind of been establishing already, and then also it can be everyone's there to steal a separate thing or piggyback off each other and say one thing is uncanny in different ways, etc. Just think about what you want, and then we'll just build it together. Okay.
Cool.
So 43. I'll see you soon. Ooh. You guys are killing it. I'm loving this.
Yeah, it's good.
This
I'm
is
enjoying
so
it.
much fun. Yeah.
Yeah, it's heaps fun.
Welcome back.
Hi.
So, does everyone have any ideas about what they were sent to steal?
I totally have an idea.
Okay.
Like, and I'm so excited because this is the first time ever that I've known what the fuck I'm doing with like a final scene / epilogue.
Okay. Which
Why don't
is
you go then?
Oh, okay. Okay. So I kind of feel like there's a little flashback to the bingo hall. And what Kavya received as part of her letter was like a bingo card, and there's like certain numbers that are circled on this bingo card. And she whips that out and looks up like so I feel like there's a wall of like safety deposit boxes in this vault, and the numbers on the bingo card take her to a particular like security deposit box in this vault, which she opens, and poking around she finds like this little like wooden box with like some intricate designs on it and stuff. Maybe it's got like a little bit of gold, like some little embellishments, and she picks it up. And when she does, she hears like really faint drum beats. And when she puts it to her ear, like the drum beats get louder and louder and louder, kind of like in Jumanji. And that's what she was there to steal.
okay, so you don't see what's inside it, just you know that you need the lockbox.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay.
So I've got an idea for mine.
Hit me.
So yeah. So mine is what I was looking for is if it's a big room full of like safety deposit boxes, there's the tall ones that have like are for objects or things that are bigger than like a safety deposit box. So like you open like one of these tall ones that's like kind of narrow, and like out of it I pull out like this like full-size portrait type thing of a person, and like as I pull it out, we as the audience see it's that same mysterious figure that has been in all of like the other shots, but Jem has no idea who it is, and just like pulls it out and like pulls out a bag and just like stuffs it in the bag like type thing, and then just like carries it out.
Cool.
Elspeth tracks down a long, narrow, wide, like short and wide lockbox that it belongs to one of the town's founders. And as she's going to the lockbox and like pulling it out and opening it, we have a flashback of her as a small child sitting there with a grandmother-looking figure that's strong Indigenous features, and she's telling Elspeth that the land that their house is built on, their crappy little cottage, it was sacred land, and that's the land that their family has lived on for thousands and thousands of years. And when the colonizers first moved in, part of the agreement for having like ending a war with the original tribes people was that they would own some of the land, but those original deeds of title that were signed by both parties were taken back. And so that agreement was then never held by. So Elspeth is there to retrieve these original deeds of ownership for the land that she lives on, and for the sake of her grandmother and her heritage, she wants to get hold of it.
Cool.
And then she opens up the box, and there's these really worn old contracts, like 300 years old. They're falling apart. Yeah, and Captain John Barrowwood assigns ownership to the family Maruya of the town. Insert name. Yeah.
Cool. I got a thing that ties into that. I kind of like that. It seems like our mysterious person that's hired is some sort of like awesome Robin Hood character that's like, you know, like an anti-imperialist kind of like. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, Catalina, I think, goes up to another kind of taller thing, and I think it's a little bit similar to the thing that Kazia found. She pulls out a it's like a vase, and it's got, instead of the beats and stuff coming out of it, there's this strange like singing and voices. Maybe it has like the sounds of those children and stuff that we were hearing earlier kind of floating out of it, and she pulls it out, and I think she yeah, I think maybe she goes to do a similar thing to what Jem did. She's like, I got my thing, and like just jam it into the bag so she gets paid, and then she's like stops for a second. And I like the idea maybe of behind, like we get the view of her front on, and she like stops, and she's like, you know, uncertain if she's hearing what she's hearing. But I like the idea of seeing there's little flashes of like children like running past behind her, and she's like, yeah, then she just jams it in the bag, and like she's out of the vault. Yeah,
cool. And so I think you guys are making your way out, but for the people that got the misses, the thing that we see is I think the people walking first are the people that rolled well, essentially, and the people, you guys are in concert walking, you know, in parallel, going through this mirror section, and then even the vases that have the mirrors and stuff, we see that that person is following you out of the bank as you guys leave. Okay. Nice. I like it. I think we don't need to do the escape plan one. I think it would just be abstracting something that we don't really need to abstract because we don't have heat. And plus we're like running a little bit on time anyway. So yeah, this was awesome. I loved it. You guys come up with some great stuff. And I think where I'm going to take the next design thing is what it, like playing people that find out what it means for these things to be outside of a safe place, probably is where it's going to be, as if like the vault is was good for these things to be kept in, probably. Even though it seems like it's a good idea to remove them because it's like a Robin Hood thing, right?
Well, I think for along those lines, for Jem, you see like a little bit of their last scene, maybe like after the credits or something. And it's like Jem handing over the picture of like this old indigenous person that we see in all those things. But like the person Jem is handing it to is like total like banker cis white guy, and it's like, oh yeah, so like, yes, I'll cover your deposit for this, like, so you can now get your club. And I'm like just handing it to like the most cis white head guy there is.
Oh geez. Okay. Sounds good. Does anyone else have any scenes like that, by the way? Any wrap-up scenes?
for Kavya, it's just like a real short scene of like her doing shifty eyes and then like opening the box and then it cuts.
Oh, nice. The audience never gets to see.
Elspeth walks back home into the old cottage and into one of the back rooms of the house, and there's a really old feeble lady like in the bed, and she opens like this sleeve and pulls out the contract and saying, look grandma, I've got it now, we have our land back. And grandma's just like, you're a good girl, Elspeth, good girl.
Nice.
We see a scene of Catalina driving some sort of giant truck out of like whatever studio the Millennium Falcon is kept in. Like you just there's the Millennium Falcon on the back of a truck, and she's probably listening to like some of the music from Star Wars. So it's just like dun 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 dun, and she's like that. I kind of like maybe there's as she's driving it along, I kind of like the idea of some there's some spooky ghost kids sitting on the like on the ship on the back, like in the rear view mirror. Maybe she even sees them. The mirror's there, and she's like, oh, and it cuts. Yeah.
Nice. Very nice.
I have one caveat to that too. Like, so it's like shifty eyes, open the box, and then then you get a cut, and then a really quick shot of like this figure behind her, and then it cuts again.
Nice. And then probably the credits roll. We get the thing of Jem's scene, and then we get the music playing out. Hey, that started it all. Cool.
Yay.
Do you guys want to do Roses and Thorns or?
Yeah, totes.
Yeah. Okay, cool. I'm gonna go left to right. So Ellen, we'll start with Thorns and then end on Roses. So Thorns, I don't know if you guys have done it before, but Roses and Thorns. Thorns is things that could have been improved. My emceeing, things that you wish would have been in the game but weren't. Just anything that like you would change to get more enjoyment out of the session. And then Roses is like, I really liked this. So we'll start with Thorns, and we'll start with you.
I didn't find any part of it unenjoyable or difficult, or I didn't find any of it didn't flow well. I really enjoyed like just reveling in the tropiness of the bank heist. Like that was super fun, and I loved everyone's ideas. And it was really great to do a bank heist. Thank you.
Yeah, agreed. You guys all did awesome jobs. It was very fun. And Lauren?
I think the only thing that I felt was a little bit like, for me, a bit like that I fumbled a little bit was like I guess order of operations with the jobs, like, and I don't know like exactly what I struggled with, but I think it was like people working on some things and then not knowing like if I should do this part of the job and what will that then lead on to do. So I think like for me, I just struggled a bit with like what makes sense to do first and why for job segments.
Like, in what order are we tackling each obstacle?
Yeah. And I think I felt that just when it was like, I guess I'll do the lasers or the guy, and I was like, I don't quite know like what the lasers will do, but they sound fun, so I'll just do the lasers.
Yeah. Well, I could. Do you think maybe solving that when I'm having people put in the segments, put in the order in which they need to be circumvented as well, or have it so it's an abstracted process so people talk about the obstacle. Like you have, like if you make an obstacle, then that's your thing that you're doing in the game, and then you tell the MC what the obstacle is and how you're tackling it in the bank and whatnot. Would that help?
Oh yeah, maybe. I would hesitate to sort of say like this is the order you need to get it done, because I think that's probably a bit restricting. And I did like the flexibility, and being able to just be like, but let's just do this. It sounds cool. So yeah, no, yeah, maybe some character ownership over it makes sense for my character to do this one thing, or I don't know. So yeah, but that was just how I felt about it. Like, but yeah,
For sure. Okay, and Lou?
I think I really loved it too. It was really, really fun. Just thinking about, I was just having an idea as Lauren was talking then about it could even be cool to create a couple of the first scenes, maybe just because it could work for telling a story as it's going, to even create what the next obstacles are that you come across, like as you go. Do you know what I mean? Because then, so maybe there's the first couple of things that you know are there, and then, or even like, yeah, I guess it could be kind of 3 things that are part of your plan and 3 things that aren't part of your plan or something like that. That could be another cool way to kind of ensure that things go wrong, even on if everyone's rolling really well, because that's kind of part of the genre, I guess, that stuff goes wrong. That'd kind of be an insurance policy against like just everyone rolling awesome constantly. The only other thing,
just have
sorry,
half. So have half the clock. You guys have 3 obstacles, and then the other half you discover as you're going, right?
Yeah,
that's
I
really
think
cool. I like that.
That could be something, because I just know some games, like people that were playing, I played through the Watch a bit recently, and a lot of that discussion was the game is like only really good when you fail a lot. Otherwise, the game doesn't kind of work properly if you're not, or doesn't work as well to tell the stories that it's meant to tell if you don't fail a lot. And I think the heist things like that too, like you want it to even start off all going good and then go totally wrong. I think that's the funnest trajectory. The only other thing, which is, and it's something that I totally do, I think we kind of lost the, we totally lost the bank, like the place that we built at the start as we went along. Like I could picture it, but I guess like we could have, there could be a couple of ways maybe built in where we, like that gets brought back into the game somehow, like the physical environment that we're playing in. Yeah. But
we could do, I could do half of the clock is things that you make, and then we could tie them to specific locations in the bank.
Yeah, that could be fun too. So you kind of build, yeah, that'd be like a little, yeah, world building tied into the action. So this thing's going to happen in this part of the bank. And I guess it would help you to picture where you are, you know, like the foyer. And I mean, we still had cool places like foyer, security room, laser hall, like it all happened. But I guess
and
that,
the bathroom.
and the bathroom with the, yeah, that was cool trope. That was an awesome tropey thing, Helen, the, getting up into the crawl space in the roof. I like that. Yeah, other than that, yeah, those are my only little things, and it was really, really fun. I loved it.
Cool. Hey, Yoshi?
Like everybody else, I enjoyed it. I was gonna say there's a couple of like minor things for the thorns. I think everybody else sort of addressed like there's a little bit of stuff with like the obstacles and not really being quite clear. But for me specifically along those lines, I'm not sure carry out a plan is necessary. Like that first one, like I never really felt like I needed to use any of that hold for anything. That I had it. I had the 2 hold, but with 4 people trying to solve a 6 segment clock, being able to do 2 increments of that 6 segments clock is super strong, and I'm like, I don't actually want to spend it for that because I don't want I don't want to do that. So like I was sort of deliberately not spending it for those things, because I wanted the story to play out. So that's for that.
I'll probably delete that as well. I think I had it when it was still the iteration of you're just robbing a bank, and it wasn't the Uncanny thing, and it was like meant to be like your hyper competent bank robber the town people, where it's just like you immediately go in and start grabbing the situation and it's good, and then things start
right
unraveling. But yeah, I think that just executing it with the basic move would work just fine. Yeah.
Cool. The other minor thing is I looked at my playbook moves. Like I actually didn't really like, not that I didn't want them, but I didn't need them. Like the basic moves covered everything I needed. And so I wanted to hit the keys because I thought the keys were cool, not because I was trying to hit to get the moves. Like for me, I liked the keys enough on their own without needing like the moves or anything that was there for it.
Totally.
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah, the moves are just there to help you do basic moves, basically, to keep the cognitive load down, and then it's also just like an illusion of a carrot, right?
yeah, sure.
Yeah, I totally get that. Yeah, because the problem. What?
I found the moves and the keys useful in thinking about who my character was. So I don't think I did too much with the playbook moves, but yeah, I really enjoyed that in character building.
Yeah.
I'll totally agree with that. Like, even if I never used any of the moves, it gave me an idea of what the trigger was supposed to be about.
Yeah.
I just thought of one other thing that was with the Uncanny part of it. I reckon like I kind of wasn't thinking that it was at first that it was the player's responsibility for some reason. I kept my hands off it because I kind of thought it was like your job to bring that stuff in. So I guess you could more like heavily like kind of put that, seeing as it's such a big part of it, like maybe like put that like in there and it's everyone's job to like slowly. I think you did kind of say it and say what kind of story we were gonna tell and that, but yeah.
It's in the questions, but it's along with all the things that I wanted you to keep in mind. So it is like a lot, but
even I guess if it was potentially part of the like the planning or clocks or something, that I think we did it really well still. Like it all slowly came through, like it all happened, but like I don't know, maybe it wasn't. Maybe I just like derped out about that it was my job to do cool Uncanny stuff as well. Yeah, it's probably not even a thing. Maybe that's just me being like overtired.
Well, that's fine. I think I'll shift it from questions to part of the setup part so that people are like, oh, okay. Because people are more likely to internalize and read the setup stuff more than the general questions that are meant to be answered throughout it, maybe. And then that might help.
I've got some thorns to build on, or some roses to build on that.
Oh, okay.
So for me, for roses, like I really liked the Uncanny stuff that we did. Like I thought everybody had really good ideas. And I particularly liked how people would build on different things. So like, for instance, I really liked the music and the children laughing and all of that stuff. And I really liked how that kept coming up and building and changing and evolving throughout the story. I thought that was super awesome.
Yeah, and the how the Uncanny stuff in the vault at the end, like I think that's really clear that it encourages you to go back and grab from the things that were happening through the like journey to the vault. Like that's really works, I reckon.
Cool. And any other? I guess we'll just open it up for roses. Does anyone have any other roses?
I love everything about this game. I don't know. This is like my favorite genre, which is like sort of that kind of cosmic horror, like Coen Brothers horror comedy. Like I know it wasn't like funny, but there was like some moments that were kind of like funny to me. So I dig the whole tone. I dig the theme. I love introducing. Like I love the fact that you get to introduce these little bits of like uncanniness, and then that builds over time. I thought everyone treated that really well, and it didn't get too gonzo or anything. Like I loved everyone's ideas, and that we had a lot of throwbacks and stuff, and that fed into the end. And I think the like flashback stuff and the way the narrative unfolds really facilitates those throwbacks as well. So I think it's very thoughtful and artful, and I think it brings out everything you wanted in this kind of game. And I had a really great time.
Yeah, I'm really excited because the whole time I was picturing like how other groups could do whatever type of thing they wanted with it, right? Like they could totally do the Cthulhu horror stuff going on, or like weird alien shit with X-Files, or fringe science stuff or whatever. And then when I keep the issue 2 about like whatever was in the vault is now loose, and you got to deal with that now in a different way, with shifting to different characters. I'm excited to have it like continually unravel with each issue and figure out what's going on with it. It's exciting.
And it felt like a manageable number. Oh,
no, you go, Lauren. You're right.
This is like a manageable number of uncanniness as well. Like I've played Lovecraft-esque, which is a little bit similar, and every scene you have to introduce a new clue, and it feels like you just introduce so much stuff that it makes callbacks a bit complicated. And I think just the number of weird events you introduce are manageable and fun.
Mm-hmm.
I know Ellen, like we were talking about what me and Ellen were talking about the character that she wanted to play like as like an indigenous character, and I know like she was like just slightly concerned about like doing that like right sort of thing. Like, and I think I really liked how we had those components in there. I think we did that really nicely, and I especially kind of like that it was kind of set in a vague, like I was picturing it was a cross for me between like kind of like North American and like Canadian sort of indigenous stuff and Australian stuff. It was in a bit of a parallel like sort of place. So I think that helps you to do that, like gives you permission to play with that sort of stuff a little bit. And anyway, so that was cool.
Yeah, I think it's powerful to not label the place that you're in, so that like even I like it a lot when you're watching TV and they do that, right? And they're just like, is a city and this is happening, and people are like, oh, this could be wherever. It's like a subjective projection.
Or it's a fun, like, you know, it's like San Fran, Tokyo or something. It's like a weird like pretend, you know, mix up, mash up sort of place.
For sure. Awesome. Okay, I'm gonna stop.